phone. So those are two conflicting reasons. Now, when I asked for clarity, I was referred back to this, which is not what the notice of the meeting was. So I'm hoping the notice of the meeting was specific. We cannot deviate that from that notice. And I'm just asking for the record clarity of what the proposed pending or current litigation topic is.
So I do have a question. In the past, we have amended to add to the reasons for executive session.
We have.
And Mr. Mix is the one who said that he proposed this instead as the reason. So
I agree at regular meetings, but it is very clear that under a special meeting in which a notice has gone out to the public, that you cannot waver from what that was done. It's very specific that you cannot change the intent of the meeting.
Well,
or add
I
to it.
stand by this because
Okay.
we have litigation that is mentioned on the agenda, and I have come into some information that I think needs to be discussed in executive session that pertains to litigation as well.
Okay.
I have a question.
hold on.
May I?
Hold on a
Point of
second.
order.
So
I'd like to see
if
the-
it's, hold on, you haven't been recognized, hold on, sir. So if it is under the proposed pending or current litigation, that we need to stick to those topics, otherwise, we'll be reporting out on that information. Go ahead,
All
Councilman.
right. What I'd like to do is to have our clerk read the resolution again, please, as to what we're going into the executive session for specifically.
The agenda simply says, "This shall serve as notice that a special meeting of the City Council will be held on Friday, September 15th, 2023 at 3 p.m. in the City Council Chambers, 245 Washington Street, Watertown, New York." The press release says, "Councilmember Lisa Ruggiero has scheduled a special meeting of the City Council for Friday, September 15th, 2023 at 3 p.m. in City Council Chambers on the third floor of City Hall for the following purposes: to discuss proposed pending or current litigation."
And that was the motion,
Proposed
Yes.
pending.
and current
And current.
litigation. Okay, so what I've determined is from having that read again, proposed litigation is certainly what it is, proposed litigation, because I'm going to propose some litigation myself today in the executive session about a future investigation into how this particular issue that you mentioned in the press release that you went out for and stated that there was something that you were alluding to the press and the media, that will be investigated and will be understood much better by the
It's gotta
public.
be proposed
Because
litigation,
it's
so you're-
involving that particular issue
gonna have to
that
let
we're
the
going
press
into
know
the
what that
back.
proposed
And what,
litigation
oh,
is.
will I have to do that? Because as executive session privileged information.
No, the
And as
discussion of the
obscurely
litigation topic
as
is
I
executive
can, I'm
session.
explaining what it is that we're going, for the public's benefit, into this meeting for, all right, is proposed litigation. And I am certain, because of the actions that have been taken by this city's attorney and you, there will be litigation that comes out of it. And we want to get to the bottom of the answers as to where that information came from, and that's the purpose of this meeting today. So I think we're absolutely justified in going in. Now, I understand that you are doing everything you can. You're twisting yourselves in contortions to prevent this from happening.
There's no
And so
presenting,
it's
I'm
all
just
gonna
saying
come
that,
out, and it's only showing the public exactly
Councilman,
the
there is
depth
no
and the
preventing
length
of
that
this.
you're
I
willing
just
to
wanna
go
make
to
sure-
stop the truth from coming out. And so
Coun-
who is stopping the public from having
Councilman,
the truth and the information and keeping them from understanding what's been going on here for some time? You
trust
are
me,
there.
the public will know
They will.
all of the information.
They will.
Because the information that is not executive session information, I will disclose to the public.
Yes. No,
So
well,
we need
that's
to
be
know,
debated.
for the record, what is the proposed litigation, since you're saying there's proposed litigation? Because none of the members of the body, at least I don't, possibly you've had other meetings with other members, I don't know, but if there is proposed litigation or you're proposing it, you need to state it for the record, what that litigation will be.
Okay. All right. So what we're looking at is what you have done, all right?
Who's we?
You. I am looking at it because what you have done by releasing information to the public that was clearly executive session privileged information, it was to stay back there. You have pointed the smoking gun at yourself in this instance And I want to get to the bottom of who had what information at what time and how you ended up with what you did.
So it has
Right?
to
And
be.
that's
under-
what needs to be understood. And don't look perplexed, Mr. Bullard. You know fully
Councilman,
well what I'm talking about.
You're out of order.
Okay? I am not out of order.
You are out of order.
You are out of
You're-
order for
you're-
making this into a kangaroo executive
You're out of
session.
order, Councilman. This
Okay.
is exactly what I said in my email. This is exactly what I knew would happen.
No.
I said it appears, because there's been email exchanges of answering questions, but I specifically stated, if this executive session is again to berate Mr. Bullard as to the deed restriction documents, as has happened previously, this is not appropriate. And it is already clear before we go into executive session, at least that is your intent. So there is, if you're
No.
proposing litigation and saying what documents you don't want to come out, that's fine. But I'm telling you right now, members, if this is not about existing litigation or proposed litigation, we're reporting out. I will report out, okay?
I have no problem with you
All right.
reporting out. And one more thing, if I may add, it was very clear in Councilwoman Rogero's email that the purpose of today's executive session was not to berate anybody. It was to simply ask questions and get answers that we need to make decisions about what I'm going to do. That's my intention. It wasn't my intention to raise my voice and get into any argument with you, Mayor, over anything until you have shown exactly what you're willing to do to stop this from proceeding.
Well, it is
my
clear to
belief.
me that there is certainly an attempt at a cover-up. And
Oh,
people
my
don't
God.
want information to get out there. That will not be allowed. And I will also tell the public that if at any point in executive session, there is an attack on the city attorney, Mr. Bullard, or staff, that will be it. I will excuse them from executive session. Because that is my fear, that is what I wrote, that is what I told you would happen, and it better be to the topic. Because if it is not proposed, pending, or current litigation, there will be a report out. So, any other discussion?
Mr. Mayor, if I could,
Go ahead, Mr. Bullard.
I will just say this, I'm very disappointed in the way that myself and my firm has been treated since September 6th, and Mr. Olney, even today, pointing his finger and saying things about myself. I don't think it's appropriate. I came here in good faith. I did answer questions propounded to me, and my firm has responded to Mr. Lundy's letter that he sent with respect to the issues. Mr. Lundy's lawyer, Mr. Young, Mike Young. So I'm just very uncomfortable, as I stated before. I believe that I'm going to be berated, which is what's happened here now, and I think it's tragic, and it really says a lot about the procurement process that's happening right now for the city. So I'm extremely disappointed, but I'm willing to go back in the executive session. I've traveled here 2.5 hours, and I've done so in good faith. But the way this has started is not. It's really has not been. It's pretty disturbing. But I will proceed.
And I agree, and on behalf of the city, I'd like to apologize to you and your firm, especially the way you've been treated and treated publicly. People can see it. It's unfortunate that it's already been reported in the media that 3 members intend how they intend to vote when there has been no discussion. Mr. Fox has a story today stating how 3 members intend to vote. I didn't get it from me, so, but it has been reported as to how 3 members intend to vote. So that's very unfortunate also. So any other discussion on entering executive session to discuss proposed, pending, or current litigation? Call the question.
Councilmember Hickey?
Yes.
Councilmember Olney?
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce?
No.
Councilmember Ruggiero?
Yes.
Mayor Smith?
No.